guys, it's Teresa of Larkin Design, and I am here today with my Disney album. We are in Hollywood Studios, and the layout that I'm going to work on today is from the Beauty and the Beast show. And which I just have to start out by telling you that I sat and stared at these photos for like a whole day and did nothing. Because I totally had like photo overwhelm, where you're like looking at these pictures going, there's no way that I can do this event justice. And because, well, you know, for me, Beauty and the Beast is the princess that I most relate to. And the reason why is because, you know, I'm in my early 40s, and so when I was growing up, you know, we had Cinderella and we had Snow White, but it wasn't the focus on the princesses the way it is now. And Beauty and the Beast came out when I was in college, right after my dad died, not long after my dad died. And so, you know, of course, the storyline with Belle in the movie has to do with her dad. And so I connected with that on some levels. And I think that this movie, Beauty and the Beast, and Ariel, or The Little Mermaid, both sort of made the princess culture explode. And I was part of that, because even though I was 19, I still related and still took some feelings of hope and promise from the story of Belle. And so going to see this show was really amazing. Probably one of the best shows I've ever seen in my whole life. I just loved it. And so I had to, I printed out my photos and I put them in the pockets, you know, a couple of months ago. And I've known that this layout was coming, and then I just sort of, this week, I just sort of sat and sort of stared at these photos and just went, I really am just overwhelmed in what to do and where to begin and what products to use. And so of course I went into Salon Studio, Project Mouse, and the products that I had there and the products in her shop at thelilypad.com. And of course, you know, the princess collection there. And I think I used some things from the reveal kit as well. And I just sort of made some of my own journaling cards in Photoshop. I just dragged and dropped some elements and added some drop shadows. This is a journaling card that I created. And I used some of the elements too, and just sort of put together what I liked. And then I sat and stared at this layout for a whole nother day, trying to figure out what products I wanted to use with it. And so what came to me was my Maggie Holmes Bloom collection. And I think the jumping off point was this transparency, and it's got little glitter, little flecks of glitter on it. And I decided to go ahead and slide it into a pocket, into a page protector, and then I'm gonna just add a little something on top. I printed out this banner on vellum. It is from the Project Mouse Princess collection, and or it might be from Fantasy. I'll have to double check that. But I just printed it out on vellum and cut it out, and then so I'm gonna add that somehow to there. And then I have my other products from Bloom. I have the ephemera and the rubber embellishments. And let's see, I'm just sort of thinking here, or sort of looking to see like what's in here that could go on that transparency. Because there's some pretty things in here, right? I had sort of gone through there to begin with. There's banners. I always need banners. And this, y'all, look at this, right? And this. So, you know, totally carrying some of the gold throughout. There's another tag, and then I've got some of the rubber pieces in here. So this should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun to create this layout. Maybe something like that. I don't know. So I've got the ephemera here, and I've got these clear stickers. I have 2 of these hearts that I haven't used yet, the cardstock stickers and the chipboard stickers. So I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to stop being immobilized by fear of doing this project justice, and I'm just going to jump right in. So I just wanted to sort of share that with you and sort of introduce this layout by letting you know that if you ever feel this really intense immobilization caused by fear of doing the photos justice, you're not alone. And here's how I'm going to overcome that. You know, one thing to do is just to take it one step at a time. You know, I had my photos printed out, I slid them in the pockets, and I lived with that for a while. And then I chose my journaling cards and my filler cards and lived with that for a while. And then, so piece by piece, everything comes into place. So I hope you have fun watching, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so I want to start with this transparency, and I'm not going to really do much with it. I just want to add a little embellishment on top. And I know some people don't really get why use a transparency, why put this in the middle of your layout, what's the purpose of it? And I don't know that it really has a purpose other than just that it's pretty, and the colors tie in really well with the layout, and I just love it. And so I'm going to use it just for that purpose. And so here's a fun thing that came out of working with this transparency. You'll notice that I do this a lot when I use chipboard on a layout. I peel the back off to make it less bulky in the album. And so I did that here, and then I'll come back in a few minutes and do something with the back as well. And right now I'm just going to work with the front of this transparency and what I'm going to do on the front. And obviously, since it's a transparency, some things will show on the back. The banner will show on the back, and I'm cool with that because it's pretty front and back. And I'm putting a couple of little word strips here as well. And this floral chipboard, this is the gold the gold floral chipboard that's on the Bloom chipboard sheet. And so I'm just doing a combination of glossy accents to glue the chipboard flower, and then glue dots to put the banner onto the transparency. And then you'll see what I'm doing here. This is the adhesive back of that floral chipboard, and I just coated it with embossing powder, and then I took it and embossed it using my heat tool. And so now I have the back of the floral is now glossy, or is now embossed gold. And so I'm going to put that on the back of the transparency to cover up the back of the floral embellishment. And I'm also going to layer just one of the roses on top. And so that way when you turn the page on the back of your transparency, you'll have a pretty floral embellishment to look at as well. And then of course, I'm going to there's the floral chipboard. So that gold just shows behind it a little bit. And then I'm also going to add, another word strip too. You'll see that in a minute. I'll realize it. It looks great on the front side, and then when you turn it over, there's that little spot missing. So I definitely end up using a lot of these word strips on this layout. And this also gave me the opportunity to attach the banner again in between those two, the word strips, so that it was attached in more than one place under the transparency. So those are just a few tricks that I've learned from working with transparencies over the years. So now we're just going to move right along to the journaling card here. And I created this using some elements from the Project Mouse collections. I used primarily the Princess collection and Fantasy here. And so I just brought in the pattern paper, the hearts, and the bracket, and the words, "Be Our Guest," and then those hexagons into a blank canvas and arranged them how I wanted them on the layout. And so I'm going to just use those hexagons as little landing pads for different embellishments. I thought I was going to layer some of the little vellum pieces, but that didn't end up working out. I will say that those vellum pieces, the little navy polka dot and the pink stripe, those are from the Project Mouse collection as well. I just printed a couple onto vellum and cut them out. Nothing very fancy. I do want to use those on the layout, but I decided for this card that I just wanted to use those hexagons for some of the embellishments. The little teapot is also from Project Mouse, also printed on vellum. And then I'm just layering different little pieces. This is one of the rubber, or two of the little rubber strips that are with the Maggie Holmes collection. And so they're just different right? Really small groupings of really small embellishments. But as a whole, they complete that card really sweet. So the next card here is from the Project Mouse Princess collection, and I didn't do anything to it. I'm just going to add a couple of word strips, and then I grabbed the Maggie Holmes rotary stamp. I don't remember if that's from Bloom or not. It might be from Shine. It seems like that's from Maggie Holmes Shine. And that's okay. It sits beside my workspace. So that was all I did with that card. Now I am going to use one of the vellum hexagons here, and then again I'm going to repeat this layering of embellishments on top of the hexagon. So obviously this is a really fun way to use some of your die cuts, to use some of your vellums, to repeat sort of the transparency kind of overlay feel here in a more dimensional way. I love it. So this just becomes a little cluster here. I'm going to add a little stamped sentiment at the top. There we go. And then I'm also going to add some lines. This is going to be a journaling card for this side of the layout. And so I'm going to use my Becky Higgins rotary stamp here for the lines. And there is actually a plain line stamp on this rotary stamp, and it is just right at probably 2.5 inches wide, and it's perfect for making those lines on those cards. I'll come back and add my journaling later because I want to go around the page and do all the journaling kind of at once. So I'm just going to hold off on journaling quite yet. Now on this card, it is sort of a repeat of the 4x6 card that's on the other side. And again, I pulled the patterned paper into my canvas. The bracket I pulled into my canvas and created a clipping mask. And then I pulled in there's some heart embellishments in the Elements kit in that collection. And so I just pulled those in sort of like confetti. And I'm just going to layer a couple of things on top here. I'm sort of playing around a little bit, trying to decide what I want to put on here and how I want to arrange it. So that's what you'll see me doing here, is kind of trying to figure out. In the end, I think I just did a couple of labels. Yeah. And then some stamped sentiments again. And so really nothing very complicated. You know, this card already has a lot on it because it has those cute little hearts. So it didn't need much. Now this card, this is actually, there is a very faint pink and white stripe printed on here. Now I printed these cards on textured Bazzill cardstock, and so they're very absorbent of the ink. And so the stripe didn't show up as well, and I decided to use one of the chipboard frames. Yay for using a chipboard frame. And then this adorable little heart die cut. And I decided to let the gold heart peek out underneath. And then I'm going to add just some tiny touches to the photographs. I don't want to obscure the photos too much, but I do want to add just a little something. These banners obviously are perfect just for a little tiny bit of pattern, and then a word strip. And I also decided that there were some really sweet glittered leaves in this ephemera pack as well. So I decided to layer those. They're sticking out just a little bit from behind that tag, that banner, sorry. And I think I end up doing it here too. I really want to use those rubber banners as well. In hindsight, I should have left it layered on top of that chipboard frame. So I decide that I'm going to use this gold glittered label. I love this thing. I really want like 100 of these. I'm going to just stamp a little sentiment. That goes perfect. And of course you saw me peel the backing off again. And then I'm just going to adhere it to the photo. And the way that I photographed this event, looking out onto the stage, is I framed each shot with the stage curtains, right? So that affords the area for me to add the embellishments without obscuring what's going on the stage. And so I chose what, 5 scenes. I didn't get any good pictures of us there, so that's why there aren't any pictures of us. But there were 5 scenes that I felt sort of encapsulated the feel and showed the different costumes that Belle wore, and also Beast. He had several costume changes too. And some of the different characters too. I loved the final dance with all the costumed staff that that came out in their beautiful gowns. Oh, it's just so beautiful. I love it. So this filler card here, I was really inspired by that that words that says magical memory. I really love that. And that was kind of the jumping off point for the journaling cards that I made. And then I just layered some of the florals on top of it. Another thing that I use throughout this page is the glitter tape. I just cut it in half because I just wanted a little tiny bit of gold glitter. There's gold glitter on the transparency, and then there's the gold glitter heart on the other side of the page, and the gold glitter label on one of the pictures, and a little bit of gold glitter tape. So I like just repeating that just a little bit here and there around the page. So I did begin my journaling here, and I wrote about how kind of what I said in the beginning of the video about how Belle and the Beauty and the Beast story is probably the princess story that I relate to the most, because it's the one I remember being excited about, and I remember that I couldn't wait for it to come out, and I remember relating to Belle. So I wrote a little bit about that on my journaling. I also, because the far left hand pocket and the journaling card that's in there says Princess Checklist, so I listed out all the important characters, a cute ottoman, a cute pooch or an adorable pooch, a handsome prince, a cheeky candelabra, or yeah, a cheeky candlestick. So I've just sort of made my own little checklist there. And I'm going to repeat this hexagon element here again. I actually really liked doing that on this layout. And these two will become the little homes for the embellishments. That was a lot of fun. The other thing about peeling your chipboard pieces is that then you can staple them. The stapler, the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, it will go through the chipboard when you peel the back off of it. So there's that. I'm just trimming off some of the things on this card. And I'm going to write a little bit of journaling on this card about excuse me, I had to yawn again. I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of the gold tape, the gold glitter tape. I keep a stash of that here in several different colors. I still love using it, right? It's just a basic for me. I'm writing here a little bit about how I hope that our children take from this that true beauty and true strength come from the inside. I hope our boys and our girls both learn that and see that applied here. So I'm going to try and figure out how to use this deer. I feel like, you know, there weren't any animals in the show itself, obviously. But the movie itself takes place in provincial France, which is awesome. And so, I don't know, this deer, there are a lot of things about the Bloom collection that feel very provincial to me and feel very just country, and but a country in a modern sort of take. And I don't know, who can resist this cute little deer? But there's actually several deer in this collection. And I don't think I ended up using this one. I think I ended up using the cardstock sticker one, because he was a little bit smaller and I wanted to layer him, like he sort of, so he wasn't so stark against that background. There. And then I want to add another floral somehow, so you'll see me trying to figure that out here just for a few minutes. This card kind of did end up getting a little bit busy, but I think it's okay. It's actually kind of really pretty. So I'm debating, do I want to do this word strip? Do I want to do the yellow heart? I just really don't know what I'm doing. I end up cutting out, there's this little tiny floral, and but it's coming out of a little milk glass jar, and so I ended up cutting off the jar and just using the floral embellishment. There we go. Okay, I'm going to finish my journaling here. And yeah, I was just writing about how it was my favorite movie, and now I think I'm pretty sure that it's my favorite show as well. And then the journaling cards are all done, I think. I just want to add a few more things to the photos, a few more embellishments to the photos. So you'll see me kind of try to figure out what I want to do. I am going to use one of the rubber banners there, the one that says beautiful. And just using my red line tape. And then another little tiny something to this. It's going to be that little floral banner here and another word sticker. And then this layout is pretty much complete. I'll show you the whole thing all together. And thanks so much for watching. I hope that you will like and comment and subscribe. Also, check out my blog at larkindesign.squarespace.com. There is a coordinating blog post that goes with every video that I publish. And I guess I will see you tomorrow for Throwback Thursday. So thanks again for watching. Bye-bye, you guys.